What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And guys, y'all made it. Y'all made it to Friday. And so did I. I'm real excited. I'm happy I made it to Friday. I'm happy you made it to Friday. You know what? Since you made it to Friday, go ahead, when you get off work, when you get from your trip, wherever you're going, treat yourself to your favorite meal, whether that be a steak, a burger, a taco, some tofu, some ramen, a pizza. Treat yourself to your favorite meal because you've earned it. You have worked your butt off and you have earned it. That's my command for y'all today. Go ahead and treat yourself to your favorite meal of the day. Serving it up Gary's way. But guys, we're going to get into today's docket and everything like that. As the boys landed in Houston yesterday and had a great joint practice, we're going to talk about some of the things that were highlighted in that practice, starting off with, the defense showed up, and Trayvon Moorick had the hit stick of the day that a few Texans weren't too fond of. They did not like that man's hit whatsoever. I saw the clip of the hit, and to be honest, It could have been worse. I don't know why they was ready to scrap and fight over it, but you got to take up for your teammate. So I think it was one of those hits where they were just like, hey, man, that was a little too hard. And Trayvon's like, I'm playing football. What do you expect? Like, it's football. You're going to get hit. So I did like that. Bryce had a number of incredible dimes to all the wide receivers, including several to XL. He had a few to Bryson Tremaine, who made his name known. He had some to T-Mac, and honestly, it was a great day. Thielen got some action in there as well, and I did enjoy that. Now, it has been confirmed that J.C. Horn will not play in Saturday's game. Nani? I know. That's sad. A lot of us love to see JC play, but we all know he was in the car accident last week, and I'm not surprised that the stitches have not healed because, let's see, if he plays and they reopen up, now we got a bigger problem. So, honestly, I'm not too worried. I genuinely would be surprised if the stitches are healed up by next weekend as well, but they should be good to go by week 1 of the regular season. As a guy who's had dissolvable stitches before, it usually takes about, let's say what? It took me about a week and some days for mine to fully dissolve and so on and so forth. A week and probably 10 days, something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. Also, I don't know if y'all noticed this or didn't see it, or you may be asking questions, wondering why. So Jalen Coker was out of practice yesterday due to sickness. Apparently, the young man had swollen lymph nodes as well as a high fever. So hopefully, Coke Zero, I hope you feel better, my boy. And Cam Jackson also sat out of yesterday's practice, which I don't know the reason behind why he sat out, but they did list him as out in yesterday's practice. And overall, the Houston Heat did not seem to affect the Panthers. They seemed to be moving and grooving and doing all the things they needed to do in yesterday's practice. They had no issues, and I know especially Brad Idzik, he's been saying he wanted a lot of hot weather in Carolina, so when they went down to Houston and played this weekend, they would not be affected by the hot weather. And, hey, looks like everything worked out the way it is, and the Panthers are holding serve and doing their own thing. Now, the next topic I do want to talk about is the brotherhood between the two young quarterbacks that are leading these franchises, and that would be one, Bryce Young as well as C.J. Stroud. Now, a lot of us, we know Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the 2023 draft. Bryce Young was at Alabama while C.J. Stroud was at Ohio State. But these guys have a bond that goes further than that. They've played against each other since they were kids. They played against each other in high school, and C.J. Stroud even played corner against Bryce Young while they played against each other in football. They played each other in AAU in basketball. They've watched each other grow up and just develop out in California together since they were kids. So they have a very unique and special bond, which I think is really cool. And it showcases why when you go back and look at that draft and there's that clip of Bryce Young watching to see who the Texans take, and when they announced C.J. Stroud, he's like super excited because that's his brother. That's essentially like seeing one of your best friends follow you right up in the draft and have that special moment that y'all can share for the rest of your lives that you've been talking about since you were kids. I know I've talked about that with my best friend. And we've talked about numerous times of how it would feel if we both got drafted at the same like in the same draft, or if we went either to the same team or we got drafted one after the other and facing off against each other, so on and so forth. And obviously each one had high praise to give to the other. Here's what CJ had to say about Bryce Young when he was asked. CJ Stroud says, Bryce, he's a very even-keeled, very to himself. I think I've seen a dog come out of him that he has a lot of that a lot of people haven't seen. But I know he dealt with some frustrations. I think it's good that we go through these ups and downs to refocus you back on what's important. I think he had that. And I had that last year as well. I think he bounced back like he should, and we all know he can. He's a heck of a player, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. He needs some help around him too. I'm just really proud of that guy, just the same way he said about me. Through every ups and downs, every valley and peak, he stayed the same guy, stayed loyal, and stayed a friend and a brother. So I'm very appreciative of him. I love that. I respect that. And obviously, Bryce Young was asked about C.J. Stroud, and here's what Bryce had to say about C.J. He said, I think one of the biggest things that I respect about him is just his consistency as a person. He's someone that I've been around him in a lot of different outside perspectives. I've seen him as an overlooked middle school or high schooler that I've been around that was just as good but didn't get the fame or didn't have the offers, didn't have the hype. I've seen him at Ohio State play one game and people acting like he's not good and people saying he's this and that. To go on and have the career he's had and be the man at Ohio, be the man. I know Bryce didn't say that. Be the man at Ohio State. I've seen him have ups and downs. I've seen him have so much success at this level. I mean, throughout all that he's been through, the exact same person. He's been family oriented, a great person on and off the field, someone that obviously I know a lot of people on this team. Everyone tells me how great of a leader he is, how much he means for this team, offense, the entire team, my entire unit. So I just think his ability to be the same person regardless of what his circumstances are is one of the things I admire most. And honestly, I'd love to see bonds like this because we all think like you have to be rivals. You can't actually like each other. You can't have that special bond. But guys, we got to remember, some of these kids, they did grow up together. Some of these players, they have been playing with each other or against each other since they were this little. And even if you're playing against each other, you build a bond with your rivals. You build a bond with the guys that have been pushing you to this next level, to this echelon that only a few achieve. You build that bond with somebody, whether it's at work, whether it's at school, whether it's honestly on your local team. Like it doesn't matter. Even in your own family. I have a cousin. He was my benchmark for sports in anything. Like, he was the one that was pushing me, and if I could beat him, I knew there was nobody who could touch me. My cousin will tell you that, and I was that for him. He was the benchmark. He was the trendsetter. Like, it was that competitive. And then I have my rivals who I played throughout high school, I played throughout middle school. I didn't like them when they were on the court, but I respected them so much because they were the ones that made me want to get better. So I know Bryce and CJ have that loving brotherhood and that loving bond, and I love that they've both been successful. And also acknowledge that they're both going through highs and lows. They are both great quarterbacks who have been through the ups and the downs. I always said that regardless of who got drafted where, so if Bryce Young went 1, CJ Stroud went 2. Had we taken CJ Stroud and the Texans taking Bryce Young, I genuinely feel like that first year, CJ would have went through the same struggles because we didn't have the team capable with the pieces around him to be as successful. So people would have said CJ's a bust, Bryce Young's a better pick, so on and so forth. I still firmly believe that to this day, that CJ was just drafted into a better situation in Houston than when Bryce first got here. But the thing is, Carolina is building around Bryce, and it's getting better. Whereas with CJ now with the Texans, if the Texans continue to drop off, people are going to start questioning CJ, even though CJ doesn't deserve to be questioned. CJ Stroud is a great quarterback. He is a great leader. He is that guy. You just have to put the pieces around him and make sure you continue to elevate because they set a high precedent. CJ goes out and wins 10 games his rookie year. Now, the Houston Texans are expecting that consistently. So if they start falling off, people are going to start saying things about Bryce, the media, or not Bryce, about CJ. And the media is going to start saying things about CJ like, oh, that was just a fluke. He ain't that good, da-da-da-da, when that's not the case. The same way they were quick to dog on Bryce Young. The same way they were quick to be like, oh, Bryce wasn't worth the number 1 overall pick. He ain't that. And now all of a sudden, the way he ended last year, it looks like he's going into this year. Oh, man, Bryce is really that guy. He just needed time to develop. So I say all that to say Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they have a great connection. And I hope they both continue to thrive in this game that we love. And thirdly, we want to talk about one of y'all favorite things that we do on these Fridays is Would You Rather Panthers edition, man. I love doing these every Friday. These have become a Friday staple for us. If you are new to this and not true to this, this is what we do every Friday. I give y'all a Would You Rather, and you tell me which one would you rather pick as a Panthers fan. I always make them Panthers oriented, and hopefully as the season goes on, I get more options and more storylines, and I'm able to develop more and more of these. But some of these just come off the top of the dome. Some of these I look up, and honestly, actually a lot of these I just make up off the top of my head, and I think it's pretty good. But today's Would You Rather is this right here. Would you rather, one of these 4 options, would you rather see Chuba and Rico lead the NFL in rushing yards, T-Mac and XL lead the NFL in receiving yards, Derek and Bobby Brown lead the NFL in sacks, or J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson lead the NFL in interceptions? Nani? Yeah. I think I gave y'all a tough one today, man. I think I gave y'all a tough one today. Again, look at and yes, this is combined. So obviously, each of these, they combined lead the league. They lead the league. So when you combine any 2 at this position, nobody would have more than them, obviously. So again, would you want Chuba and Rico to lead the league in NFL rushing yards? Would you want T-Mac and XL to lead the league in receiving yards for receivers? That sounded redundant. Would you want Derek and Bobby Brown, the Brown twins, to lead the league in sacks? Or would you like to see J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson lead the league in interceptions? Keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind. And while we're keeping that in mind, I got y'all Panther freeze frame of the day, and here it is, bro. What y'all think about this? I think this would be a great, honestly, I personally feel like this would be a fantastic, I feel like this would be a fantastic, oh my, there it is. All right, cool. I feel like this would be a fantastic Super Bowl matchup, in my personal opinion. If I'm being honest, I feel like this would be a great Super Bowl matchup that would catch a lot of people off guard, but it would be fun to watch. That would be so fun to watch, bro. Like CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young in the Super Bowl, Texans, Panthers. That'd be a good game. I think that would be a good game. But that's just me. And now, for y'all favorite segment that y'all love to do, it is time. It is time for Panther Nation to speak your truth. And again, if you're new to this and not true to this, this is the section where I read off some of the comments from the last video. And I just like to let y'all voices be heard, let you say what you got to say. Get up off your chest, because this is just as much y'all platform as it is mine. And first comment comes from Panther Dog. He says, that's a Xavier Baguette joke. Baguette. Xavier Baguette. Listen, man, I love it. I actually really love that. That was a genuine laugh for me, bro. And I saw somebody else in the comment section say, "Oh, you could just say XL or pronounce his name or not mispronounce his name." To the person who said that, I think it was like, who was it? Yeah, Elaine Foster. I'm telling you now, and obviously, and you may not have heard me clearly. The reason is when I pronounced Liget at the beginning of the year, when I first hopped on this channel in April, people were saying I said it wrong then. They said it's Leggett. So then I changed it to Leggett. And people are saying I say it wrong now. So because neither one of y'all can tell me who's right and who's wrong, and not only that, I've seen 2 different videos where XL himself has pronounced his last name 2 different ways. He's pronounced it Liget and Leggett. So, and he's a boy from Mullen, South Carolina. I know Mullen, South Carolina, and it's easy to interchange between the 2. So, I am going to pronounce it however I pronounce it. I may say Liget, I may say Leggett, I might just say Baguette because I think that's a cool nickname. I think he would love it. I genuinely think he would love it. Xavier Baguette. If I presented that to him, I think he actually might love that. So, with all that being said, I'm going to say whatever I feel like saying. It may be right some days, it may be wrong some days. In your eyes, you are not the grammar police. English is hard enough as it is. It's hard enough as it is. So I'm going to say what I say and do what I do, and I'm going to smile and be happy. But Xavier Baguette, Panther dog, that's funny. That's hilarious. Xavier Baguette is funny. Hold up. What's this? I don't like it. There we go. There we go. But Xavier Baguette instead of Baguette, that made me laugh. Oh, man. Next comes from Derek Oxidine 171. My man says, facts. I can't wait to see how our defense works together. I think the offense is going to be great. If the defense comes alive, we will have a big problem. Man, Derek, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. If the offense does what we expect it to do, and the defense improves the way we're hoping it does, we contending for a playoff spot. I don't give a damn what you say. We are contending for a playoff spot. If that's all we got to do, we are contending and we are taking a playoff spot. That's what I'm putting down. I'm putting that down on the pasta. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what pasta I got, but I'm putting it down on it. And then lastly, comes from one of the day ones, Kareem J. Sanders. My boy says, hey, yo, I've been posting from the beginning that we'll go 10-7 this season and maybe 5-1 in the division. Keep pounding and let's go BY9. I will say this. I can confirm my dog Kareem has been one of the day ones since the beginning, since I joined this channel. He has been here saying that we will go 10-7. He has commented on almost every video, so I can't lie to y'all. Kareem has been saying that since like April. He was saying that May at the earliest. I will give him that 100%. He has been saying that. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can always be reminded of when these videos are dropping. Next, comment below and let me know, what are some of your expectations this weekend as we play Houston? How do you think that it's possible we could see a Bryce Young or CJ Stroud Super Bowl in the future? Like those two face each other? And lastly, which one are you choosing? Chuba Hubbard and Rico rushing for 1,000 yards, leading the league in rushing yards. T-Mac and XL leading the league in receiving yards. Derek Brown and Bobby Brown leading the league in sacks. Or Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn leading the league in interceptions. Let me know in the comment section below. And also do want to let y'all know, give you a heads up. I will not be hosting a watch party tomorrow because the game is at 1 and I do have a practice at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So I don't want to be hosting a watch party and then middle of the watch party, I got to leave. And y'all just sitting there just like, what's going on? X, Y, and Z. So will not be hosting a watch party, but I will make sure to take notes and whatnot and everything and get all the rundown for you guys. So hold it down for me. Do what you can and everything. But with all that being said, guys, and gals and everybody in between. What do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with two tats. Peace. Much love to all of you. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend. Keep pounding Panther Nation. Later days, and as always, later days. Keep pounding. I'll see y'all next time.